Why does everything feel heavier today than it did before, you've been wondering? Why the once clear path now feels like driving through fog? What caused the fire to others are becoming less bright? Why the once strong voices are no longer heard? You've seen how individuals gradually disappear, haven't you? Not always in defiance, but occasionally in silence. Resignation, they cease to appear. They no longer have faith in more. They no longer anticipate my movement. And as you witnessed that, you began to feel a rising burden on your own soul. The sort of spiritual tension you've been unable to describe. You've questioned whether it's you. If you're the one fading, if you might be the next. But now listen to me. You are obviously not fading. Being polished. You're not feeling like a failure. Friction is the cause. You're pressing up against opposing the patterns, systems, and delusions that others have given up to, but that your soul can no longer endure. Tolerate your sensitivity, not your strength, is what makes a difference. You're more spiritually alert, more conscious and more sensitive than you've ever been living. Indeed, that awareness hurts. It causes you to mourn other people's rejoice. It makes you uneasy in settings where making concessions is commonplace. It causes you to get restless in situations that used to make you happy. That isn't regression. That's progress. You aren't getting any colder. You're being distinguished. You're not growing aloof. You're starting to make sense. I have been removing the fake aspects of you because where there must be no pretense when I take you there. I have been silently confronting you not because I'm upset, but I'm also invested. My quiet hasn't been my absence. I've extended an invitation and call to reality, depth and stillness foundation. You've been getting by on the revelation you had years ago, but I'm calling you today to a place where your everyday presence serves as your source of no more hoopla is necessary for you. You require more of me. Many people go back here. Here in this liminal space between what was and the future, most individuals stop walking at this point. Not because they deny me, yet since they start to settle, they discover a cadence that's cozy and refer to it as contentment. They no longer feel hungry as the price becomes excessively high. And gradually, kids start to rely more on their memories than on new experiences. Structure rather than momentum or spirit off of disclosure. Because of this, it seems like everyone around you is vanishing. Spiritually as well as physically, they've ceased to reply, and I share your grief, but your child hasn't been. You were constructed to finish. You were called to settle, and you were made to endure. You have a mercy that is incomprehensible to others, and it's all right. They weren't meant to keep what I gave you. Your path has always been unique. Your fire has burned deeper every time. I marked you even when you attempted to blend in. Attempted. To stifle your enthusiasm, I agitated it. You never quite fit in. Additionally, you never will. Since you weren't made to be comfortable, you were made to partake in communion. Genuine, unadulterated communication with me, I allowed the shaking to occur because of this. Why did I permit the disappointment? That's why I didn't ease your stress. I wasn't punishing you. Instead, I was getting you ready. You requested that I utilize you. God, I'll go wherever you send me, you said. Me. And I believed you when you said that I would start molding you in areas where nobody else was. Observing, I started secretly testing your yes. Since what's about to happen can't be maintained by performance. Only those who have endured enough time in the furnace to be trusted with it can hold it. Fire. You've gone through times when others would have broken. You've made it through. Betrayal, loneliness, bewilderment, and intense internal conflicts that no one else has witnessed. However, I have seen them. Every tear I've shed while sitting with you in the loneliness has been counted. When you heard nothing but quiet, I whispered, and I still remember your loyalty. You believe you've been silent. However, your perseverance has been impressive. Each time you were there, when you wanted to quit, every time you continued to serve when your heart was weary, when you were in pain. Did you ever pray for someone else who has been worship, and I've benefited from every second of it? Only the selected remain until the very end. They've learnt to stay connected so they may fall and then rise again to attain their goals. Not because they're stronger. Want me to believe again when it hurts and their hands are shaking. It's not the end for the perfect. For the faithful, that is. And you're still here, dear. That is the proof I am aware of. You don't feel selected all the time. There are days when you feel neglected. On other days, you feel similar to the person who was abandoned. However, I need you to comprehend it has not been a random survival. You haven't been burdened by your sensitivity. Your silent perseverance is not a sign of weakness. You are living evidence that my grace is sufficient. You are a ship that has survived, not because to what you've constructed, but rather because of what you've given up, and I can build upon that, don't you? Envious of those who appear to ascend swiftly, avoid comparing your procedure to others whose underlying assumptions have never been examined. A few build quickly, others deeply, and the deep ones appear to be taking their time till the storm hits. Arrives. The people who went deep with me are the ones who stay upright when everything begins to tremble. And you, my kid, have been delving deeply even though you were unaware of it. Each and every unanswered prayer silent night I was digging, I was anchoring, and you believed you failed every test. The time to let go is not now. Now is not the moment to turn down your lights. This isn't the moment to question the voice you have been listening to. The road is indeed narrow. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, it is perceptible, lonely. But in me, it finishes in splendor and fire, and I'm phoning because I'm worth it. You should remain not out of obligation, not out of fear, not out of love, not out of a relationship covenant, because I have never abandoned you, not even for a moment. And now more than ever, I need your affirmative. Not simply yes to serve, yes to remain, and yes to burn. When others have abandoned you, you're willing to believe anew. This distinguishes the so-called from the selected. The selected ones remain not only from the start, but also from the end, the midst, but I'll see you through to the conclusion. Not the self that you display, the performance you've learnt to sustain, not the world, not the toned-down display of power you've practiced avoiding crumbling in front of incomprehensible people. I see the questions, and I see you. You carry something that you're too scared to say aloud. I can see how much weight you grin. I can see the fatigue beneath your constancy and the hope you still have. Hold on to in secret. Before I do anything else, I want you to know that I see your heart. I'm not disappointed in you, annoyed by your pace, taken aback by your difficulties, or upset over when you felt like giving up. You've taken my silence as condemnation. However, it was never I didn't say anything, because a place where your soul is cleansed of all performances and reintroduced to the reality of who you are. You are mine, not because of what you do. You believe I've been aloof. However, I've never been closer to observing guards waiting, not simply awaiting your breakthrough, and the day when you will see yourself as I do. You've never been deemed average by me. You've never been classified as behind by me. Never once have I placed demands on you that I haven't prepared you to handle. The critical voice that assesses your pace feelings about your apparent shortcomings. I'm not that. That is a born falsehood, out of performance and pressure, and I'm going to silence that voice today. For far too long, you have been evaluating yourself using the incorrect criteria. You have determined your worth based on the accomplishments of others. You've allowed comparison to cloud your judgment. However, you simply need to be where I am. You don't have to be where they are. Have put you, and you're exactly where I want you to be right now. Not flawless, but completed, but positioned as of right now. And that is more important than you. I've seen you persevere when everything within of you pleaded for an escape, and I've seen you show up when it was difficult. I've heard the times when your strength became survival and your faith became a whisper. However, even at that time, I didn't turn away. Instead of waiting for you to gather yourself, I didn't withdraw. Approached, I have been more concerned in your life, not to fix you, but to hold you. Hard as opposed to your performance, which I consistently you believe that I'm just proud of you. When you're performing at your peak, but that's untrue. I was pleased with you when you got back up after falling. When you opted for compassion rather than retaliation, I was proud of you both when you sobbed and when you asked for assistance, in my presence rather than acting as though nothing was wrong. Those moments are important. They are more important than external perfection or public accomplishment. They serve as evidence that your heart is still alive. My tender is still receptive. And that's what I really want. Your presence, but your perfection. Your openness, not your output. I'm not requesting more from you. Please give me more of you. The true you, the one toward the rear. The endeavor. The person who occasionally lacks sufficient spirituality. The individual who,